to become frustrated, we also must understand the fact that God deals in eternity. He is not constricted to a time constraint like many of us are. And that's why we try to exercise and try take as much of our time as we possibly can, because we know that the time that we are allowed to here on this earth isn't really that long at all. As a matter of fact, just 5 minutes ago, I was 5 years old in my mama's house, and I was able to go and come up and down the hallway as I pleased. As a matter of fact, about 7 minutes ago, I was about 12 years old, and I had to be in before the street lights came on. Just about 2 minutes ago, I graduated high school, and here I am now. Because time is leaving just that fast. And so we have a duty. We have this mandate on our lives to try to catch up with what God is doing. And what happens is when we are behind time and we're finding ourselves trying to catch up with God, we now begin to experience that turbulence. We begin to experience that shift. And then we want to start calling God out on his word. Well, God, you said this. Yes, I said this, but I gave you an if before that. I told you that the nations will call you blessed if you brought your tithes to the storehouse. It's an if then. Now you said the nation was gonna call me blessed. Yes, I said that, but you just as selfish as you want to be. That's not the way to be blessed. If you want to be blessed, you gotta sow a seed. Sow a seed, you reap a harvest. If you sow a seed, that seed will produce many more after it. Listen, I'm listening to what I'm going to say real good. If you plant that seed, the seed will reproduce after itself. And what's happening is you are planting things in a selfish seed, and you're allowing that selfish cell to overtake and kill your seed, but it drains the life out of the seed, so it reproduces after that selfishness. The Lord remembered. Listen, so as we get to this position in our text, I ain't going to drive this too long. I told you I ain't going to be before you long, and I'm going to hold true to my word. As we get to this position in our text, 1 Samuel chapter 3, where we find now where Samuel has grown. Well, how did Samuel grow? What happened prior to this? We go back to the beginning of 1 Samuel, where we now have Hannah, who is without child. She is the husband of Ephna, yeah. She's the husband of Ephna, and Ephna has 2 wives. Hophna, there's the Elkanah. Get the name correct, Robinson. I will. Give me just a moment. Hallelujah. I ain't going to tell y'all no lies this morning. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm moving so fast that I don't want to mess it up, because I sure will. I mess up my students' names. Ain't that right? Thank y'all. I'm so glad y'all know. Give me the name. Elkanah. That is it. Elkanah. It was one of those E words. Elkanah had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Elkanah had 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Hannah was without child. Peninnah went on about her merry way, but Hannah wanted the Lord. But Hannah did something that was very pleasing unto God. She turned towards God and began to pray. She began to worship. As a matter of fact, she began to pray and worship, so she was mocked, and people thought that she was drunk. And she told the Lord, she said, Lord, if you give me a child, if you give me a son, if you give me a child, I will give them back to you. Okay? I will give them back to you. And for the rest of the day, they will live for you for the rest of the days. And so the Lord was moved towards this act, and he gave a child. And we now have Samuel, who was dedicated to the Lord. Now, Samuel wasn't like the others that was around him. Now we find that where Eli was the king of this time, Eli allowed his sons to do any and everything. Can I just pause